have the bottles of rum.
Call to order, adoption of agenda. Nobody wants to adopt the agenda.
Adopted.
Can I get a seconder?
Second.
All in favor? Unfinished business, unfinished business, point one recommendation.
That council approve the letter to UPCM.
Can I get a second? Discussion? All in favor? Number 4, new business, 1 point recommendation.
The council approves the mayor and councillors that wish to attend the virtual BC Natural Resources Forum from January 26th to 28th, 2021.
Can I get a seconder?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Does anybody else want to attend besides the mayor?
I have no idea what my schedule is.
You can let me know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Point 2 recommendation.
The council decide which grants they wish to apply for and advise administration to proceed with the applications.
Can I get a second? Discussion?
Do we still have Andy Ackerman doing our
Yeah.
grants?
Anybody have any questions?
I like that Main Street revitalization planning. I like that. That's a planning, that's not following through with the whole project.
But there is, these are NDIT grants that were brought out in June and September that the board did not receive here. So there's business facade improvements that we can get the downtown core to do. And then there's one for our July 1st, is there not, Sandy?
Fabulous
Festivals and events.
What about recreation infrastructure?
Well, we need
What
to
would
change
you-
some things over at the Ball Diamond, do we not, Blair?
Yeah.
Put some gravel in there, sand in there. Okay. We have the needs assessment already done.
What about community planning for housing for seniors?
They're doing that, right? That's the needs assessment. Right?
Okay.
And Ken, you talked about something about farmers markets and things like that, because it says your market initiatives.
Cool. If I didn't know if I could bring it up here or not.
Well, these are all the grants that we can apply for right now.
Yes, let's do it.
Look into.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I know that, the farmer's market, including Dawson, is looking for a home, right?
Okay.
Space.
Space.
Mandeep said that we could use the empty building, the empty part that's right alongside of her studio there. That was the Math Academy.
Oh,
She said that if we wanted to use that, we could use that.
for a farmer's market? How awesome. Way to go. Nice.
And Bart, you wanted, what was it, Main Street?
Revitalization planning?
What about capital?
Well, wouldn't we, in order to capital? Okay.
Sandy?
So what I'm asking for is which ones you would like us to start looking into.
No.
Both of them then.
Okay.
His capital would be new sidewalks. things like that.
Storefronts, in
Storefronts.
capital.
Very nice.
Okay. So I have 6 here.
And our grant writing support, if we
He's
get all these grants.
He's gonna try.
Okay. And then, what else? I don't purchase land, eh?
The, what about the community planning for housing?
Yeah, good idea.
Thank you.
Well, that's what I was asking about. Because,
Community planning.
Yeah, I got a check mark here.
Okay.
Was that not part of your housing needs?
Yeah. No, but that
Some-
was for housing for seniors.
No, the regional district is
Doing the housing needs, yeah.
no, they're putting up modulars out in Farmington as a a pilot project
Okay,
for, people that low income.
and you want to look into that for food?
Yeah.
Where would you put it?
Oh, we have land. Nobody's looking at that land to buy, so let's use it, get some tax base happening, right?
Alright.
Does this not border into northern housing as well, incentives?
Well, it should.
Sure. I mean, if we can get grant money, let's see
Just
what
look
we
in
can
all of
get.
them, why don't we just let her look in all of them, Sandy?
It sort of seems like just about all of them have something to do with us.
Do we all agree?
Yep.
All in favor? Okay. That one. 3, recommendation that council discuss the CFO role. Can I get a seconder?
Second.
Discussion.
Is there a pool that we could draw from, or is that it? Is there anyone local that we know that's available to step in?
Sandy?
No,
There may be,
there may be, you know
Mhm.
somebody?
maybe. Not being ignorant here, I'm trying to see if I can find some
So I
information.
went to LGMA and asked for, they have a reserve list of retired people or people who are just doing it by contract, and asked for CFOs, and this is the list that they provided to us, and I kind of went through and highlighted the ones that stuck out with CFO experience. I don't know if any of them are available.
Should we inquire about some resumes
Yeah,
to see?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. But is there anybody on here that you don't want, you do want? Do you know, does anybody know any of these people, or?
Chris Civic. But I thought he was still working for Hudson Hope, but I guess they.
No, he's gone,
He's gone now.
yeah. Moved to Calgary.
Really? I don't know, can we just put it out there, Sandy, on the Civic Web and see what we can get for resumes? Could we do that?
Yeah?
Do we have a draft that what we'll be posting?
Nope. I can go back and pull the former CFO's job position
Okay.
and.
Because we need him as ASAP, right?
Yes.
For all the grants and
Yes,
all the things to be signed off on.
okay, so. Is,
Go ahead, Sandy.
is it okay if we do some of the preliminary of this via email? Is everybody okay
Yes.
with that?
Yeah,
Because otherwise it's not till the 20th that we address it.
as long as everybody speaks for themselves, that would be great.
Is everybody okay with that?
Fine with me.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor? And Ken, you're gonna mark that one down and give it to, Sandy, the one you're.
yeah, I just got it, so I'm gonna pass that on.
Okay.
Number 4 recommendation?
The council consider if they would like to apply for this grant. And that council decided on a project and budget.
Can I get a seconder?
Second.
Discussion. Blair, you're up.
It was one of the big ones that we looked at and we talked about, and I don't want to call it a fire hall expansion because really there's, we're looking at, for on the fire side, would give us one more bay. Been a really nice training room, but we're looking down the road to potential, I just drew something out, I believe Sandy gave you guys all of it. There's a possibility of some revenue down the road, but this grant is pretty huge. To me, it's a benefit to the town, to the village, at, very little cost down the road, but there is potential of revenue coming back. High, not high, but there is. And expenditure for growth, you know, there's probably a few office space in there. If we had something we wanted to rent an office space, we bring somebody in for training and courses, we pay hotel fees and that kind of stuff. This would allow them to stay there, so it would reduce cost as far as training side of stuff. Ground Search and Rescue is willing to go out and assist with all this stuff as well.
Financially?
Yeah. A cost of this, Sandy knows more about this than I do, but the cost I predict down the road be a little bit of maintenance up down the road as far as upkeep, which is typical, and you know, a little bit of light and heat, but there's potential revenue coming back. To tell you, offset it, I can't, but like the training room, it's a huge training room versus what we get now is a little kitchen area, and we can rent this out. It also would act as a EOC building that if we had a big emergency in the village, that we can set up, which all of you guys are going to be part of this if there was. You know, there's recommendations that, there's recommendations, but in the CAO or EOC building, you know, there's got to be 2 or 3 different rooms separate from the main big one, which would allow this. To me, it's a win-win. It's up to you guys. Fire Service associations will not go and get grants as that as well, to help furniture this stuff and that kind of stuff. The cost of the village, very minimal down the road.
But that one grant is also health.
Yeah.
So that would include ambulance and the EAS, right?
Yeah, please, if we wanted to, we could look, because like I said, I had to get something to get a rough number. If we wanted to, we could look at making a soundproof room in there for, instead of Stan bringing animals to town for boarding overnight or 2 nights. It could be in there as well. An office for bylaw.
I see that. That's a good idea.
That's just a rough draw. I just put names because I was trying to figure out rooms because I had to get a rough number versus saying I need a 60 by 80 building. Well, what are you putting it in? So this was just a rough draw.
If it's going along this way?
Yeah, like the ambulance bay, the wash bay would be facing the mayor's house
Okay,
with another driveway.
alrighty.
You
I
know,
wondered about.
And that would be included public works, so public works money would be coming out.
that would only be
for
a
all the
wash
washing.
bay.
Yeah, so whatever they be washing in.
Because right now we do it outside or we go over next door at the service station and use over there at a cost.
Okay.
The wash bay, I mean, it's totally up to you guys. You know, you could look at, you know, opening that bay if you wanted to as a wash bay, because it could have a separate entrance that basically open to anybody. You know, a fee to wash.
Motorhomes and such things.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't be taken away.
Well, motorhomes won't fit in.
Okay.
Because right now we're washing outside, like this time you try to unthaw something, you put it inside the shop and make it a mess. You know, Ground Search and Rescue is willing to, you know, they're willing to help.
Yeah.
I can't say what, but, because it's not my place, but to me, it's, you know, it's there's cost up front. And Sandy knows more, like I said, more about that, but we get it all back.
And the regional districts will need to help too.
Potential.
As soon as we get the medical thing done, right?
Are we going forward with that, the medical and the animal?
Well, it's sitting at the regional district. You guys voted for it to go ahead.
This is fast, like, we don't have a whole lot of time to waste, per se. This is why, like, I've been spending the last 2 or 3 days trying to come up with a,
We never do.
right? No, in order to make this,
Isn't there money available for operating expenses if we go
Cross-board.
cross-board? This is really scary. It's awesome, right? Let me, sorry,
Sandy?
go ahead.
Okay, so there's no disadvantage to applying. The conditions are you have to pick a project, you pick an amount, we have to submit the application. You cannot start the job until it's been approved. you can get up to 100% of eligible costs back, but it's done after the building is done. So the community has to foot the bill first, and then the money comes back. It's,
Usually the way it's done.
for us to put an application in, there's nothing, like it doesn't cost us anything. We put everything together, we put the application in, we wait to hear. It's not until we hear yes or no that we start.
Yeah. And it also says that the deadline to apply is January 27th, and it has to be started before September 21, which
Yes.
is this September,
And it
and
has to be
completed by
completed.
December.
Yes,
So do you think that that's feasible?
I've been told yes.
It's feasible to
The
put
one
that structure
contractor I've been
together?
working with, like, to come up with a number,
Yeah.
said, yeah, it is. And there is also, you can,
So, yeah, but you have to have an engineered
which is all included.
plan
Yeah.
It's all included in that.
Included in the price.
and all included in that. And, you know, it's funny because my husband and I were talking about this, we just insured our home, and the cost has gone up phenomenally per square foot. Like for a home, it's over $260 a square foot for a house. And now we're talking about a public building. And this is $136.5 million for all of British Columbia.
Is that the same grant?
They're giving out 136.5
For all of them?
for all British Columbia, but it's all based on the grant.
So how much do they estimate this is gonna cost?
The quote that we have received, the quick quote that we got, he figures he can do it for 800,000.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah.
'Cause I was thinking-
But we also gotta put it out at RFP. Or out to bid, it can't just be,
Oh yeah, this part here that I need to know about, I don't need to do anything. I just need
Need to know
council's
yes or no.
approval, or I need a resolution that states that you guys are willing to pay the costs up front and proceed.
So if we get the grant, we're obligated to follow through, or is that
Oh, yes.
another vote to cancel?
Well, if we get a yes, then we bring it back to council, and at that point in time, you guys would decide if you want to proceed or not. If you say no, well, then we don't take the money.
fine.
Do we have to do this with COVID-19 money? This is something,
This is not COVID-19 money. This is not the same money as we have. This is for upgrading the buildings.
this
and-
is for COVID-19 resilience infrastructure.
Right.
Right. Do we have to use this COVID-19 resilience infrastructure stream on the fire hall?
Why wouldn't it?
Why
would you
we?
want it to be?
Well, that's just what I'm asking. Like, this has been a brainstorm for a very long time to have this addition put on. And we have an opportunity to apply for a grant primarily for public use and benefit. And, I mean, if you're going ahead with this anyway, why use this grant?
Because it's
For
free
this.
money, and why would we spend the money, why would we spend our money on that when there's a grant? That's
Gotta
covers
cover
that.
it.
Well, where else would you put the money, Marlene? Where would you like to see that money go?
Well, I just thought that for benefit of public use, and that's where I was stuck. Like, I wasn't thinking of fire hall, because I'm thinking primarily for public use and benefit. Like, the first thing that
Well,
came
they
to
benefit if
mind
your house
was,
burns down. They
it's
benefit
still
if they're having a
there.
stroke.
But that isn't what we're talking about.
Yeah, it is, it's a safety issue, that is a safety issue. We're trying to
We
get
have
ambulance out
that.
there. We don't have an ambulance here.
We have an ambulance not very far away.
But it takes longer to get out there with an ambulance being in there for 10 minutes away, 10 to 15 minutes away.
So now a BC ambulance will be in here.
Well, that's what it says right here.
There's a
So-
pay there for it.
Marlene, if I may,
Yes.
just if I may. There's no guarantee, the government would have to approve and say, yes, we think that project qualifies for this
Yes.
funding. And then we would get it. But it does talk here about educational infrastructure and health
Yes.
infrastructure, local government and indigenous government buildings specifically covered.
Yes.
So this is kind of what I sent in an email, which is kind of scary. Because here I am thinking, if we can get this built by hook or by crook with the least amount of money to the community, and then we have, can you see money
Yes, you can say that.
So then we have extra funding opportunities that will come to the village to run that facility and alleviate that burden from
Taxpayers.
the tax base of this community. This is a golden opportunity, I think. I do. If we can get away with that, with minimal investment, and then we don't have to pay that $300,000 a year because we have outside sources funding it, why wouldn't we?
We don't pay $300,000.
We pay $262.
We pay 100 and, what was it?
165 was the budget. was?
Somewhere right about there, yeah.
And what, 80,000 was,
34.6 or something like that comes with regional.
yeah, 34.6%.
Percent.
And then if we do the house insurance, that'll pay that. Charging the house insurance every time I get a fire call. Because you're already paying it on your house insurance. If you read your policy, you're already paying it. And every community is doing it. Every community has that. The regional district were quite shocked that we weren't doing it. Charging back to the insurance company. Blair?
And again, like, I don't refer this to a fire hall expansion because really I'm gaining one bay.
Yeah.
Which instead of making a truck park like this and parking something like this, I have a little extra room. And it's for, to me, it's a win-win because down the road, the building's the village at very minimal cost. It belongs to the village. So if we wanted to sell it 10 years down the road, it's a huge gain, in my opinion.
So let's take it to a vote.
Well,
Are we done talking?
so this is the only thing that we can come up with
We have to the 27th.
for a grant?
Yes, we have to the 27th to have this in.
Yes, I understand that part, but I thought that people were coming in with different ideas for using this grant. And I thought for benefit of public use, I was thinking the walking trail down at the park.
That would be the other grants that we applied for too, so.
Yeah, I understand that too, but this was just one of the things.
But we've been wanting to do this for a while, Marlene.
You say we, but that's not,
Yeah, there's some of us that have seen the opportunity for this to be done.
yes. I know.
I'm
But
sorry.
I asked, is this the only thing that council came up with was the firewall? The rest of council, because I was thinking the benefit of public use, and I thought that.
Well, this is the first time I've
Trail,
This is a grant that I said in December that was available. You guys walked out. So then I started talking to the fire chief about it. What does he think about this? Can you come up with a plan? And he came up with a
Was that
plan.
open or closed meeting?
I don't care. Really don't care. So, this is what we came up with. Did you guys come up with something?
yes, I said,
You said the trails.
yeah,
Okay.
the trail.
So those
maybe-
grants right here have that in them for the trails.
Okay, but this is the COVID-19 resilience. infrastructure.
How much money would the trails use?
I haven't got a clue.
So let's apply for the full amount, 400,000,
You can,
and then use 10,000 towards the trails and 390 towards the park.
We need more than 400,000.
Chris had an estimate of how much that would cost down there, but again, he's not here. Go ahead, Sandy.
it's only one project that you can use it for.
No.
So it's go big or go home.
So it would make sense to apply the bigger amount to the bigger project, and then take out of capital to invest in the trails.
Well, if we get the other grants, that would work for the trails too, as well. Like recreation and there was one there for recreation and something that I said we needed to apply for.
So
Recreation, infrastructure.
we can take this to the next step, and it still has to come back to council.
Yeah, it still has to come back to say if we've gotten it or not.
I'm good with going for the next step.
Okay, all in favor? Okay. So,
Do you want to document that you are not in favor?
Doesn't matter.
Yes.
So the next step is I will bring the written resolution to you guys to vote on in January, or at the next meeting, so that it's formal. I have to write up the resolution, you guys have to approve it in the minutes.
Okay.
Okay, and then that's what, because we have to send a copy of
that's
the
the resolution,
resolution.
the 20th?
Yeah,
No, yeah, it'll,
Okay.
we won't be.
our grant writer will start start the application process. It's gonna take a few days.
Yeah.
to
I
do
know,
it.
that's
So he's
what-
gonna start, and then once I have the approved resolution, that has to go with the application, so I'll write it up, and that will come back to you guys on the 20th for just confirmation of the minutes, and then I can send it off.
All in favor on that? Okay, and I have a
Camera, motion to, well, you're supposed to, motion to adjourn.
number 5.
Go to in camera as per section 90-1 of the community charter.
Seconder?
Section 90C, labor relationship or other employee relationship.
Alright,
You can leave the 10 to second that?
Yeah.